Wait! Hey, I've done this rodeo before. Get back up here. If you saw the thumbnail and immediately went into anger mode to type a comment, please just come back. Listen, I'm gonna be honest. There's a high probability that whatever you are about to type is going to be addressed in this video. There's also a high probability that I've probably played these games more than you have. So instead of looking like a total fool, at least watch before you comment. I even have video chapters so you can skip to the games that you actually care about. Here's how I'm going to be ranking though. The ranking will mainly be based on the main party mode. Games having good side modes will help them a little bit, but a game with a good party mode and lackluster side modes will be prioritized over really good side modes but lackluster party mode. Minigames are a factor, but I think overall there has never been a Mario Party game with bad minigames. Every game has its stinkers and its gems, but in my opinion the quality is mostly consistent. Finally, this list is my opinion. Think of it as these are the games that I find myself wanting to boot up the most, and these are the ones that I never do. Alright, we got it? Let's go. Today we're going to be ranking every single Mario Party game. I made a video about Mario Party somewhat recently, so I just want to talk about my opinions on each one of these games, sort of talk through why I put each game where. We've got 7 tiers here. Peak, these are the ones I'm always booting up. When someone says Mario Party, these are the ones that I want to be playing. Great, I'm not like, it's still gonna be a good time. I think these games are like well made, well balanced, and I'm not upset to be playing them. Fine, these games are good, but they have issues, and we'll talk about that. Mid, I think these games have issues that are like over centralizing to the entire experience and kind of ruin the game in each way. Usually with the mid games, I feel like if you could just make like a small tweak, then they would be in the great tier or the fine tier. Garbage is gonna be the games that I never want to play these. These are just like fundamentally flawed in such a way that they're just not even fun to me at all in any capacity. And then I have 2 tiers for the games I've never played. I think I'll do those first just to get them out of the way. But basically, these tiers are going to be going off vibes, so definitely take them with a grain of salt. It's just from what I've heard about these games, what I know about these games, but I've never played them. So I'm gonna, in the never played but probably fine, I'm gonna start with Mario Party Advance. This game seems kind of limited. Just being on a Game Boy Advance in general makes it probably harder to enjoy the Mario Party aspect. But I saw it has like a story mode that looks kind of weird and maybe fun. I don't really know. And then the other never played but probably fine, I'm gonna put Star Rush. I think Star Rush is essentially the partner party mode from Super Mario Party, which was the best part of that game. And I've heard this one is good. I've heard a lot of people like this one. I've never played it. I haven't played any of the 3DS ones, so I can't say much more than that, but I've heard better things about this one than the other ones. Mario Party the Top 100 seems like an awful game. It's a minigame collection on the 3DS, so you can't, like, I think the problem with all these portable ones, for the most part, is just they're on the 3DS, you know, and it's like, it's much harder to get a group of people to all bring 3DSs somewhere than to just have a home console and boot it up when people come over. I'm just pretty sure the minigames they chose were like not the best. I don't think Dungeon Duos is in there, which is like fan favorite, which is odd. And there's a couple other weird missions. And there's only 1 board in this game, which seems weird for a game about playing the minigames because there isn't really a vehicle to play the minigames. And then we got Island Tour. It just looks weird. The boards don't look great. They have like these weird gimmicks, but they're still linear boards. You don't really have a lot of choices to make. Just never really interested me. I don't know. This is probably the game I know the least about. I'll probably put Top 100 below it because this one has more than 1 board, so that they have that going for it. Alright, so we're going to be going in order from Mario Party 1 all the way to Mario Party Superstars. Starting with Mario Party 1, this game is ass. This game is garbage. I'm sorry. I know it's the first one. It pioneered this entire series. it's just not that good. I mean, all the boards in this game are just atrocious. DK's Jungle Adventure is like this weird, boxy square map, not a fan. Peach's Birthday Cake is just running in a straight line. That's pretty much it. Yoshi's Tropical Island is 2 separate circles that are connected by the thwomps, and this map's funny. You can set the thwomp toll really high and just trap people on one side of the map, but it's not good. Wario's Battle Canyon is 5 circles connected by cannons that shoot you to random spots on each circle. Played this map for 50 turns. It is mind-numbing. You have 0 agency in this map. It's actually terrible. Luigi's Engine Room, I feel like that one's fine. Mario's Rainbow Castle, it's another straight line map. It's kind of like Castaway Bay from Mario Party 6, but you just don't have items to make it interesting, you know? There's like, I don't know. Bowser's Magma Mountain, not great. Eternal Star, I don't think I've actually ever played this map because I regrettably have not collected 100 stars in this game because it's so bad that I don't want to. Mario Party 1 just has so little going on, especially like going back to it. Maybe if I played it as my first Mario Party, I wouldn't be as harsh on it, but like, this game has no items. There's nothing to spend your coins on except for stars and boo, so it just ends up being everyone has a bunch of coins that they can't really use. These are the only spaces in the entire game. The mushroom space is so whack. Losing a turn in a turn-based multiplayer game is so miserable because you just don't get to play for like 10 minutes. This game's also just so slow. All the movements in this game, the animations, the cutscenes, everything just takes forever. It's not great. I think as an overall experience, I'm not a fan. There's not that many mini games. It is the first one, but that doesn't stop me from never wanting to play it. Which brings us to Mario Party 2, which I think it's a phenomenal sequel. I'm not as fond of this one as most people are. I think the game is really good. Just genuinely one of the better sequels. You know, like, it takes Mario Party 1, which is just a garbage, just roll fest. There's nothing else you can do on the board. You just have to roll. Mario Party 2 adds a lot. Specifically items. Items are such a huge part of Mario Party. To be honest, the reason this game's in fine and not a little higher is because the items still aren't that fun. You only have 1 item slot in this game. Things are just like a little broken because of that. Like, only having 1 item slot means like having a skeleton key is just not that worthwhile. The plunder chest is so good in this game because in the other games, items like this are balanced by the fact that you can't choose what item you're stealing. You just kind of take one of their pool of items and hope, which is still really good. But in this game, if you have a plunder chest, no one else is allowed to buy any good items. If someone buys a magic lamp when someone else has a plunder chest, they're basically giving that magic lamp to someone. It's way cheaper than a magic lamp. It's half the price. It's cheaper than the gold mushroom. Like, pretty much buying this item denies everyone else from using any other item in the game. And even if you just get an item from an item space, it's like, you don't really want to land on item spaces when someone has a plunder chest because, you know, if you get a Boo Bell, they'll just take it. And, you know, if you buy a plunder chest, why wouldn't the other person just steal the plunder chest before you can use it? I do like that items are here. I think they're just not quite there yet in this game. But I think this game is good. It adds a lot of stuff. It adds battle games, the bank, which is a little controversial. I think one thing this game does really well is it like speeds up everything. Everything in this game feels so fast compared to Mario Party 1, and I feel like games are a lot quicker in this game, which is really nice. The boards are kind of a mishmash. Pirate Land is a little too big for my liking in this game where you can only have 1 item. I like Western Lands. This one's a little weird. It has the Hootenanny in the corner, which can really just hold up a game forever as long as people have coins. I think it's funny. It's not great. I think when they bring this map back in Jamboree, they're probably gonna put you after the Hootenanny to stop things from like that from happening. Spaceland is terrible. I hate Spaceland. The green spaces just make you go all the way back to the start of a corner, which is just not that fun. The middle gimmick just never really comes into play because it's so easy to avoid being on that diagonal. Mystery Land is terrible. This is like a Mario Party 1 board. This is your multiple circles disconnected and you gotta travel between them. It's not good. This map's terrible. Horror Land, great map. This was a good choice for Superstars. And Bowser Land, which I don't really remember too well. I don't usually play on the Bowser maps that much. I'm just assuming it's probably not the best because the Bowser maps are usually not that good in general. Mario Party 2 has some good mini games. I think overall it's a good game. Like I'm not avoiding this one by any means. It's good. I like it. I'll play it. Then we got Mario Party 3. This is pretty clearly the best N64 game, like by a long shot for me. This one fixes items. Finally, we have 3 item slots per character. Cell Shopper, that's cool. Portable Shop. Boo Repellent, honestly kind of broken, to be honest. Reverse Mushroom is so broken, but it's funny. Poison Mushroom, poison someone else. Bowser Phone, call Bowser on someone. Give them a Bowser space, basically. Bowser Suit, steal 20 coins from anyone you pass. Lucky Lamp, basically the Chomp Call, moves the star. Plunder Chest is back, but again, it's not as broken because, you know, you have 3 items in this game, so when you use a Plunder Chest, it's not really a guarantee. Boo Bell is always good. Skeleton Key, I love the item bag. I really wish more Mario Parties had the item bag in it because it's just, it's goofy, it's fun, it's gambling. And then you have these rare items, which I think are super cool. I think they should really bring back rare items. A Wacky Watch makes it the last 5 turns no matter what. So you can make a 50-turn game last 6 turns if you're really lucky. There's so much new stuff in this one, which I think is really fun. I love the game guy. It basically, you land on this space and you have to gamble all your coins on a game of chance. Really fun mechanic. Lets you get really broken amounts of coins. The boards are like, honestly, the boards aren't that great. Chilly Waters is really weird. There's this center part that breaks if too many players are standing on it. Deep Bloober Sea, I'm a big fan of this one. It's not that great. There's this one junction that is like basically decided by if you're lucky or not, and that's kind of the whole gimmick. Spiny Desert, there's 2 stars, one of them is a mirage. It's an interesting gimmick, but it's like, in practice, not the most fun. Woody Woods has alternating paths, which is cool, but I think the boards overall are fine. They're not great. There's definitely better boards elsewhere, but, you know, this game has duels, this game has Game Guy. I think there's a lot of fun stuff in this game. There's also the whole duel map, which I never really played a lot of, but it's like a whole different game mode. It's actually really cool. But overall, I think Mario Party 3 is like the clear best of the N64. I think Mario Party was just consistently getting better as they like iterated and added new things to each game. Unfortunately, I think they stopped after Mario Party 3 making the games better, because we have Mario Party 4 next. I know a lot of people like this game. It's not my favorite. I think a big part of every Mario Party is just having good boards. I think that's really what it comes down to. Mario Party 4 has some great minigames. It has Dungeon Duos, it has Team Treasure Trek. There's like a lot of memorable minigames in this one, but the boards are so painfully bad. I think it's easily the worst selection of boards. Maybe Mario Party 1 is worse, but we've got Toad's Midway Madness. The whole board is basically cut in half by this roller coaster, and if you land on any of these green spaces along the tracks, the roller coaster will come through and take you all the way over here, which actually no, I don't think it takes you here. I think it takes you here, which basically takes you back to start. There's also these teacups which alternate every time a player goes on them. When you start here, like this is probably the worst part of this map, is all 4 players start here. So the first player gets to go to the rest of the map. The second player is forced to loop around. The third player gets to go to the rest of the map, and the fourth player to pass has to loop around again. But then there's 2 more players. The player who gets there the 5th time gets to move on, but then the 6th player has to loop around a 2nd time. You have to do all these pointless loops at the beginning if you're unlucky. It's just not very fun. Shy Guys Jungle Jam, this one's probably one of the better ones of this. Basically, when you land on these green spaces, it cuts the map in half. I think the biggest issue with this map is just how big it is. There's so much space where you just can't make decisions. Like, if you go to start and you go left here, you're basically going straight until you get here where you can pay coins to go to the other side, or like here. This is like a lot of spaces. You have to do over 30 spaces just to make a decision about where you go next on this map. It's a lot of like empty, not very interesting space. There's not a lot of cool spaces to land on here. Goomba's Greedy Gala is kind of like if you take those Mario Party 1 maps where you're stuck running in circles, but you attach it to like an RNG mechanic. Basically, you get to this Goomba, and the Goomba puts you on the roulette wheel. And if you land, whatever color you land on is the side you go to. And then if you land on a star, you get to choose, and you get hella money. Like an interesting gimmick for like a casino map. It's just not that fun in practice. There's just, basically you can bribe the Goomba to more likely put you where you want to go. So if you have a lot of money, the gimmick doesn't really matter. And then sometimes you'll just pay 30 coins, they'll put you the wrong way anyway. It's kind of odd. And just like I wish these islands had more interesting stuff going on them. Like this one has the lottery. If like one of these islands was like really rare to get to, it was like Chance Time Island, there was a bunch of Chance Time spaces, I think that might be cool. If like, I wish these were more distinct. I wish there was more going on each island that made it so there were like choices to make other than just like, oh, the star's on blue, I'm going to blue. You know what I'm saying? Boo's Haunted Bash. This is probably the best map in the game, and it's just squares. So it's still not great. It's just kind of a lame design there. Koopa's Seaside Soiree. So here's one of those maps where you just have no real agency in what's happening. Because like, first off, to even get to the first junction, you have to get 18 spaces just to get to here where you can make your first decision. And then if you go left or right, basically when you get to one of these on both sides of the map, you slip on a banana peel, and the banana peel sends you one of 2 ways, which is just can get you trapped in these loops. Like on the other maps, you get stuck in loops sometimes. I've been on this map and gotten like stuck in this loop for a long time, and the only way out of the loops is to like use these mini pipes. Even that is kind of random based on what you roll. It's not a great map. It's just too big for its own good, and there's just not enough going on. The item system in this game is weird. There's mini and mega mushrooms. Not my favorite gimmick. Basically, what it does is if you use a mega mushroom, you get 2 dice. If you use a mini mushroom, you get half a dice. And if you use the mega mushroom, you walk past board events. So you can't get a star while using the mega mushroom. You can't go to the shop. You can't go to Boo, whatever. I like the other items in this game. I think mini mega hammer is fun. Like, affecting your opponent's state to make them walk past the star is a cool concept. This is like very N64. This is Mario Party 3 item system pretty much. The items are fine. I really like the lottery. I wish they'd bring the lottery back. That's probably my favorite part of this game. But I think overall the boards just make it so unfun for me. This is a little controversial. I really like Mario Party 5. Mario Party 5 has a lot of problems. I will be the first to admit. And this was not my first Mario Party, so this isn't like nostalgia blind. Oh man, I played Mario Party 5 first, that's the best one. No, my first Mario Party was Mario Party 8, and we'll get to that. But Mario Party 5 is objectively a pretty bad game. And that's pretty much all because of the capsule system. In this game, it's kind of like orbs in 6 and 7 if you've played those, but basically the capsules are like orbs, but every single one can either be used on yourself or thrown on the board, which is weird because like you have the mushroom, and you can use the mushroom on yourself, or you can throw it on the board and make a mushroom space, so anyone who lands on it will get a mushroom. I think the concept's actually really cool. I really like the concept. I think in execution, it's not great, because there's no stores in this game. Basically, there's these little capsule machines scattered around the board, and they give you a random capsule. But I think what makes this game fun is just how more chaotic it is. Because now suddenly, I mean, you've got this board, not a lot of interesting spaces going on, but throughout the course of the game, you get all of these cool, like, capsule spaces populating your board. You get to place them, you know? There isn't a chance time space, but you can throw chance time orbs. And, like, make you basically, like, throughout the game, build the map, which I think is a really fun in a lot of ways. I just think, like, you have to play it in a certain way. Like, I think there really is no reason to throw a chain chomp space on the board when you can just save up money and use it on yourself. Which is why usually when I play this game, we have, like, a little house rule that's like, just throw everything on the board. It makes the game more fun. It makes the game more chaotic. There's a lot of, like, mental tracking to do with this game because not every orb has its own space. I think it's really fun to throw an orb in front of you and just like call your shot like it's billiards or something, even though there's no real strategy to doing that. I think it's fun. I think it's really fun. The mini games range from like really good to really bad. This game has like Hotel Goomba and Pushy Penguins, but it also has Vicious Vending, which is probably like the lamest minigame in the whole series. But yeah, maps are like fine. Toy Dream is like a pretty standard board. Rainbow Dream is like Mario Party 1 circles, not my favorite. Pirate Dream, I like Pirate Dream. It's a little big for my liking overall, but I think it's fine. Underwater Dream, I think this is a really good map actually. It's small, it's compact. It gets the board really cramped really quick with all the capsules. And I think it just works. I like this one. I'm a fan. Future Dream is another disconnected circles map. Those are never really good. Sweet Dream, you have the Mario Party 4 thing where you one player goes one way and it forces the other player to go the other way. But I think what makes it better in this game, in this map in particular, is this first one that everyone pretty much has to pass. Like, it's not really one player has to go back to start and try again. It's like the other player just has to take the longer path, which is like not that great, but it's fine. And like this area is locked off by this, which is fine because this green space is like really powerful. And I don't think everyone should be able to land there all the time. Bowser's Nightmare. All I really remember is that like Bowser can come out from here and just like walk all the way across and it takes forever and he like kills anyone in between. Other than that, not the best map. Me putting Mario Party 5 in peak is definitely an opinion moment. Like I can say objectively this game is probably probably fine or mid, but for me it's really fun. I have a lot of fun with this one. Also, oh, I forgot to talk about it. This game has the craziest last 5 turns events, I think, in any Mario Party, which is, I think that's part of why I like it. Basically, last 5 turns, like, there's like a roulette wheel for stuff to happen. This happens in like every Mario Party game, but the events can like range from covering the entire board in random capsule spaces to like turning every red space into chance time. There's 5 stars spawning at the same time, which like on this map there's only 6 star spawns, so pretty much like the stars stay stationary the whole time. It's really chaotic. and I think that's really fun. I wish we had more powerful last 5 turns events in future games. This game also has really fun side modes. Just as a side note, ice hockey in this game is so fun. They did some back-to-back bangers. Mario Party 6, in my opinion, this is the best Mario Party game in the whole series. I think just overall, it's such a solid game. It takes everything Mario Party 5 was trying to do with capsules and makes it like an actual like competitive system. Like a system that works and is balanced, which seemed hard because Mario Party 5 is anything but balanced. It's a ton of fun, it's not that balanced. Every board here is a banger. I think this is a great classic board. EGAD's Garage, I think, is an even better classic map. And then you got these cool gimmick maps. On this map, the star can change price and you can buy multiple. So the star could be 5 coins and you could buy 5 stars at a time. Or it could be like 40 coins. The big problem with this map is just like, because of the star staying in the same spot over here, generally there's not a lot of reason to really go over here. And most of the game, people are kind of trying to stay in this loop. Snowflake Lake, this was the first star stealing map in Mario Party, where you start with 5 stars and you win by stealing stars from the other people and having the most. I think the concept is fun. I'm generally not a fan of these maps overall, but I think this is the best one, because basically these houses are chain chomps. You can go to the house to get a chain chomp, and then anyone you pass you'll steal stars from. Chain chomps are not allowed inside of this circle though, which I think gives you there's like a fun bit of strategy here with like, ooh, if I stay on the outside, I can get a chain chomp and get other people, but I'm leaving myself vulnerable. Whereas, oh, I can go on the inside and be safe for a while, but I won't be able to steal any stars. So I think that dynamic is what makes this one fun. Castaway Bay, genuinely a really fun map in doubles. If you are playing 2v2 in this game, there's a lot of fun shenanigans you can do to kind of delay people getting to the star. It's like Mario's Rainbow Castle, but now that there's a good item system, there's actually agency. And then Clockwork Castle is kind of whatever to me. The gimmick's cool. In day, you go this way on the map, and then at night, you actually turn around and you start going this way. So the gimmick's kind of interesting. It's just like not the most interesting map overall, unfortunately. But basically, during the day, DK is running around the map with you, and if you run into DK, he gives you a star. And then at night, DK turns into Bowser, and he's chasing you. So there's this dynamic of like, oh, I want to stay close to DK, but if it's about to turn night, then I wanna get out of there. The day-night cycle in general is so fun. I think it's the best gimmick that Mario Party's ever done. It's a gimmick that like doesn't feel really intrusive. It just really adds to the game. It's another thing to strategize around. Every 3 turns, you have to worry about like how the board changes. Genuinely, I think this is the most like competitive Mario Party. It feels the most balanced to me. It feels the most polished. Just overall felt the most well thought out. Now, I think people are gonna be upset with me placing Mario Party 7. I don't like it that much. It seems weird because 6 like knocked it out of the park for me, but Mario Party 7 just has so many issues. And I think the biggest thing is just there's this thing in the game called Bowser time, where every 5 turns Bowser will come and do an event. It's kind of like the last 5 turns event thing, but it's a Bowser event, so it's always going to be bad. They don't really do a lot, but just make the game take longer, or just like ruin the game for one person in particular. On a lot of maps, there's like bridges like this one or this one, and Bowser will just come in and destroy them. So basically, if you happen to be here and Bowser destroys this bridge, you are just stuck here for a turn, and it's just like not that interesting. Most of the time, what he does is he just comes in and he takes a little vacation photo, which is very cute. I like that a lot. It's a cute little thing. And then he takes like 20 coins from everyone. Taking 20 coins from everyone every 5 turns just isn't very interesting, you know? Each map has its own individual gimmicks. Again, a lot of them are just kind of like destroying bridges. He destroys these bridges on Pagoda Peak. I think he destroys these bridges. I don't know what else he does on the Chain Chomp map, but I know he destroys bridges here. On Neon Heights, he'll put something in one of the treasure chests that's bad. Windmillville, I remember this specifically. He will destroy a random windmill entirely. It's crazy because this map is like you invest money in a windmill, and if you have the most coins in a specific windmill, then you get the star value. So this one is 1 star, this one's 2 stars, this one's 3 stars. I very vividly remember playing on this map and being in the fucking trenches. I was struggling really hard. And finally, I got my money up and I took this windmill right here for 2 stars. I put all of my money in it because I'm like, I want to guarantee I have these 2 stars for the rest of the game. So I put like 40, 50 coins in there. The next turn, it was Bowser time, and Bowser stomped on my windmill. I was in 3rd place, and he destroyed my only windmill that had all of my money in it. Why is he doing that? Like, why doesn't he go for one of the windmills for the person in 1st place? Why is it random? It's funny. Granted, it's funny. It feels terrible to be on the other side of. Dude, I think he sinks an island on this map, which just, if you happen to be on that island, you will like lose a lot of money and go back to start, which is just not fun. I don't think there's any map where Bowser time makes the game more interesting. I think most of the time it slows the game down. It could just be a random event that just like makes the gap between 1st and the rest of the players even wider. And I genuinely think that mechanic alone like makes this game so much less fun to play. I think without that mechanic, I wouldn't mind this game as much because I really like Grand Canal. I think this is a really good traditional map. Pagoda Peak to me is a lot of fun. It's probably my favorite map that's like a long like linear thing where you have to try to get to the end and then you get restart. I think this map's fun. Maybe it's just the vibes. The vibes are fun. This map I think is bad. I think this is just a worse version of Snowflake Lake. All of these chain chomps are like normal chain chomps over here, so you have to pay more money for more dice. But then this one up here is like a super chain chomp, which you can pay like 10 coins for 3 dice or something. I don't remember exactly. So it basically just amounts to like everyone in this circle because they want the better chain chomp. Even if you like want to go to this side to stay away from it, like it's not that far away, you know? Like if you're rolling 3 dice, you can pretty easily get to like over here, you know, like this side of the map. Maybe like if you're over here, that's like a tough spot to get to. But this chain chomp just has so much reach. You can get over here, you can get over here, you can go down here. It's just kind of ridiculous and not that fun, in my opinion. Neon Heights is a weird map where basically there's 3 treasure chests. One of them has coins in it. One of them has a star in it, and the other one has a bomb that sends you back to start. I like the gimmick. I think the RNG gimmick is fun. But the problem with this map is there's so many things that just take forever. Like, you start here, and then, for the most part, everyone's gonna go this way over here. And this is like a minigame that takes like 20 to 30 seconds, and every player can do it. It's not like you land on a green space and you can do this minigame. It's like, you have to actively decline doing this minigame, and you have nothing to lose. You only have stuff to gain, so there's no reason not to do it. So basically, every time someone passes here, it takes forever. Same thing over here. There's another minigame that takes like 15 to 20 seconds every time someone passes it. You can only gain coins, so there's no reason not to do it. And I just think those 2 things really ruin this board, because if those were just green spaces, I think it would be so much better, but it's just the fact that you have to watch the same cutscene every time someone passes any of these 2 spots. It's so, like, boring. I don't know. It's not that fun. And then Windmillville, I think, is a worse execution of something that they do better later, which I'll talk about. But I do like the idea of these like investment maps in Mario Party. I think there's a lot of strategy to be had there. Should I invest in this windmill even if I can't get it, just in case I pass it later and can invest more? I think there's like some fun decision making here. I just think this map doesn't do it as well. There's not a lot of agency for the most part. Like, you start here and then you have to go like so many spaces. You have to go 15 spaces just to get here, where you can't even make a decision. It's just based on like which flowers are up. Can you actually make any decisions on this map, or is it all flowers? I think it's all flowers. There's no junctions you can actually choose in this map, I don't think. That's crazy. That's probably why I don't like it. There's just a lot of empty space. There's a lot of straight lines, but I like the concept a lot, and I think they execute it better in a later game. And then just the sinking islands is just whatever. It's another Bowser map. It's like, the Bowser maps are supposed to be hardcore. They're supposed to like fuck with the player. It's just not that fun. It's just like a lot of randomness. There's also something I forgot about Mario Party 7 is there's some green spaces on every map where there's like a little mini game where you can get a star. I think this one is like Squid Games, and you pick one side. If you pick right 3 times in a row, you get a star. On this map, if you land here, if you mash fast enough, you get a star. I think also if you land here, you can collect coins, and if you collect all 20, you get a star. I think there's a mini game like that on every map, which like I'm kind of indifferent on. I'm not sure. I think it's kind of cool to have events that can be really impactful, but on the other hand, just like landing on an event space and getting a star for playing a minigame that's not that hard. Like this one in particular, I remember being really easy, because at the end of the day, what it's going to do is going to be the person who plays Mario Party 7 more is going to be better at those minigames, and they're just going to get the stars more often. But yeah, I like the minigames in this one. The items are pretty similar to Mario Party 6. One very important thing about Mario Party 7 is that there are character-specific items, which personally, not a huge fan of, because it just makes some characters way better than others. Princess Peach and Daisy's is broken because every space you get 3 coins, so if you roll a 10 with this thing on, you get 30 coins for free. Triple Shroom is broken. It gives you a mushroom for 3 turns in a row. You use 1 orb and you get to roll double dice for 3 turns after that, which in those 3 turns, while you're moving double the spaces, you will probably be passing shops and orb pickups. You'll be able to get places much quicker, and like as you're picking up more items, like some of them might be mushrooms, some of them might be another triple shroom orb. So Toad and Toadette basically get to run around the whole game with mushrooms on, which is pretty broken. I'm not super complaining because I'm a Toadette player, but if you play like Yoshi or Mario in this game, it seems like a struggle. I think the concept is kind of cool. I just kind of wish there was some way to make orbs that felt equally powerful for each character, because I'm never gonna play Yoshi, Birdo, Mario, and Luigi in this game. It's just not gonna happen. I always play Toadette, but if Toadette and Toad are somehow taken, like I'll play Peach or Daisy. You know, I'm a tier whore. Okay. I think it's kind of flawed. It's a fine game. There's just like those issues, those glaring issues that make me not super excited to play it. If I could remove Bowser time, that would make the game so much more fun, because suddenly this map is just way more fun. This map's way more fun. This map still kind of sucks. I think at least the Bowser time on this one, if he breaks these bridges, like you're safe on this side from the big chain chomp, so I guess that's kind of beneficial. This map just needs to get rid of these things. Like it's just these little issues that like really make this game more annoying than it is fun for me. But moving on, another controversial pick, I think. I'm putting Mario Party 8 in great. Maybe this is biased, this was my first Mario Party game, but I also did go through a period of not liking this game as much just because it had the motion controls, and I kind of like motion controls, but they weren't my favorite when I was younger, but I've grown to appreciate them, I think. I think what Mario Party 8 does really well, I think it has really good boards. I think DK's Treetop Temple is like a fine classic board. It's not like my favorite by any means. Goomba's Booty Boardwalk, kind of lame. It's just like a get to the end kind of board. It's very linear. But then we have King Boo's Haunted Hideaway. Is a very weird map because it's kind of roguelike in a way. You always start at the beginning, and then every time someone gets a star, the map shuffles with all these different tiles. So it's a very luck-based map, but I think it's also like a really interesting one. It's a map you don't see again in Mario Party. The map has a lot of different variations. Like every time you go in, they don't even have all the tiles on this picture. Every time you go in, the map is different, and you kind of have to like chart out the map. You don't know where you're going in this map most of the time, and I think it's a cool dynamic. I really do. Shy Guy's Perplex Express, a pretty fun linear map. Basically, there's these 5 train cars, and then at the end of the train, you have Shy Guy who will give you a star, and then once you get to Shy Guy, you have to go back on the top of the train back to the start. What really messes with this map is there's a bunch of green spaces where if you land on a green space, it'll actually shuffle the cars, and it will move the furthest car here all the way to the start. If you're right here about to get a star, you'll get moved back to the start. If you're on top of the train going back and you get moved back, you get closer to the star because you're closer to the start. I think there's a lot of fun dynamics going on with this that makes it a little more engaging than your typical linear map. Koopa's Tycoon Town, I think, is a way better, more smart version of the windmill map from 7. I think this map's a lot more compact. Like, to get to the first thing, it's only 5 spaces away, and then you get up here and then you have junctions. You can go up and down the block. There's lots of decisions to make, and in this game, the amount of stars you get for each investment is based on how much total money is in each hotel. If you have less than 20 coins in a hotel and you have the most coins in there, it'll be a 1 star. If there's more than 20 coins, it'll become a 2 star. And then if there's more than 50 coins, it'll become a 3 star. And I think this is fun because it makes you think a lot more about your investments. Oh, if I invest this much, it'll raise their hotel to a 3 star, but then next time I come around, I'll be able to take it easily. It feels a lot more interesting to play because it also just feels like you have more agency into which hotels you go to. You know, you can actually choose the direction you're going. Bowser's Warped Orbit is the worst map in all of Mario Party. I genuinely believe there's no map in this series that is worse than this map. This map is a circle. You can see it's a circle, and you might see here, oh, you can choose to go left or right here. No, this is random. So you step on this button and one of the doors opens and you just go that direction. So basically you're running in a circle, and this is a star stealing map, but instead of like chain chomp houses that you have to go to steal stars, the star stealing method is an item. You either get a bullet bill or you get a Bowser candy. And bullet bill is 3 dice blocks to steal 1 star. Bowser candy is 2 dice blocks to steal 2 stars or something. It's something weird like that. I don't know. So basically, you're going in circles. Money does not matter on this map at all. You can buy candy at the shops, but you pick up free candies like pretty frequently on the board. So there's you don't really need to go to the shops, but you sure do get a lot of money on this board because basically every time someone lands on this happening space, they go through this tube and they get 20 coins. You get coins from every minigame like normal, so suddenly you just have a lot of money you can't use. Landing on certain happening spaces will basically just reverse the direction of the board. Really doesn't do that much. I mean, in a star stealing sense, if someone's behind you about to steal your star, you can turn it around and suddenly you can steal their star. But I think what really just drags this map on is like every happening space is like a 30-second cutscene. Like going through this loop-de-loop is probably the shortest one. When you turn the board around, Bowser's like, oh, I'm gonna turn the board around. He flips the lever and then the camera does this. It's like really dramatic. This map is miserable. There's no agency. This is the most luck-based map in all of Mario Party, even worse than like Mario Party 1 boards. I think the item system is a little different, maybe in a bad way. I'm not too much of a fan how basically every item now is basically based on if you pass people. So this one steals money if you pass someone. This one destroys half of someone's coin if you pass them on the board. This one blows them back to start if you pass them on the board. A lot of the candies in this game work like that. If they don't work like that, they're just kind of like a blanket, oh, steal from everyone. Oh, you use this and someone loses half their coins. So this game's really positioning based, which kind of whatever. I really like the traps and stuff from 6 and 7. But I also don't mind this. I don't think this is bad. I think the items are still fun to use. And passing someone to blow them back to start is like, it feels a lot more personal. I think overall Mario Party 8 is a really fun game. I really like the motion control games for the most part. I think mini games where you have to like point and be precise are really fun. I like Speedy Graffiti, like that kind of thing. I think pointer games are generally more fun as long as you have a good sensor bar setup. There's a lot of games where you just fucking shake the Wii remote and then that's it. Those are kind of lame. But I mean, it's like the same vein as like mashing the A button, you know? And I don't think Mario Party 8 has an A button masher, so I guess that's their substitute. Moving on, we have Mario Party DS. Mario Party DS, I'm going to put in great as well. This is a really weird one, because all the other handheld ones I haven't played and haven't been the best received in general. But I think Mario Party DS is actually like very well made. It really feels like the only portable Mario Party where they tried to make it like actually like Mario Party. The boards are all pretty good. I like Wiggler's Garden's classic map, nothing too fancy going on. Toadette's Music Room is basically every time someone buys a star, it increases in price until it gets to 40 and then it resets back to 5. Not my favorite. This map's weird. It's kind of linear. The star stays up here the whole time and you can buy as many stars as you can afford. So if you have like 200 coins, you can buy 10 stars. This is kind of like Neon Heights from Mario Party 7, but these two parts of the board are disconnected and the only way to get up is through happening spaces. Not my favorite. Bowser's Pinball Machine, I just remember this map being cool. I don't remember if it actually is cool, but I just remember it feeling cool. This is probably the coolest Bowser map that we've gotten in a Mario Party. Mario Party DS, because everyone has their own separate DS when they're playing multiplayer, there's a lot of like fun minigame stuff that you can't really do when everyone's split screen. There's like a lot of like first person like hide and seek. I remember this one map where it's like a first person shooter, but you're taking pictures of people and you're running around the maze. There's some fun touchscreen stuff. There's like some drawing mini games. I don't know. I think this game has a lot of stuff that other Mario Party games don't, just because of the fact that it's on DS. The hex system is crazy. This game is really bonkers because it has the traps from Mario Party 6 and 7, but you can just put down spaces that steal 2 stars from people. Like, you can put these hexes are really powerful and they're not that hard to come by. You pass a hex, you can't buy hexes in the shop, but you pass them on the board like pretty often and you can just randomly get like really powerful things. And then also the items are weird in this game because you can buy as many items as you want from the shop at a time, which just makes it kind of broken because like you could buy 3 star pipes from the shop if you have 45 coins. I think both of these games honestly like take advantage of the hardware they're on really well. Mario Party 8's minigames, Mario Party DS using separate screens and touchscreen stuff. I think both these games do it very well, which makes them really fun to go back to compared to like a game like Mario Party 2, which is good, but it doesn't have that much unique stuff going for it. Now we're on to this weird era of Mario Party. This is when they were trying to change things up. I am going to put Mario Party 9 in mid. I think maybe it should be lower, but I'm gonna put it in mid simply because it tried something new and it really tried it, you know? It didn't really half-ass it. This game is very well polished. It's a very polished game, and there's a lot of stuff in it. This map has a lot of boards. Granted, the boards are all scuffed because of the car mechanic, But there's like 7 boards in this game. There's a lot of mini games, a lot of good mini games. Genuinely, the car is the problem. I like the mini games in this game. I do like boss fights as a concept in Mario Party. I think like this cooperative competitive angle is fun. I remember Cheep Cheep's boss fight. I think this is the one that's like risk reward. It's like a hot potato kind of thing where you have to like choose to shoot it to get points. But every time you shoot it, it rotates. So if you just shoot all your things, it might just land on you. I think there's a lot of fun boss fights in this game, and I think the boss fights are just a fun mechanic. I liked the mini games. The biggest thing is just the boards. The boards are really flawed. Basically, every board in this game is a straight line where you go from start to finish. There's a couple junctions in the boards, but you don't always get to decide if you go on them because everyone is stuck in one car and one person rolls the dice to move everyone forward. There's just like not a lot of agency going on. You can't really strategize anything because, oh, I also forgot, there's no stars in this game either. There's just there's just mini stars, which are just like pickups you can pass on the board. There's no real strategy because, like, everyone wants the mini stars, right? Everyone is trying to get the mini stars. So, like, basically, if you are starting on this map, you're going first. You have a 50-50 to just get these stars. You know, like, you either roll 1, 2, or 3, or you roll 4, 5, and 6. And you know, so your strategy is just to roll. If you're second, your strategy is just hoping they roll a 3, you know? You can't really, like, affect that outcome at all. And that's just kind of how the whole game feels, is throughout the whole game, it's just kind of like, well, I hope that they roll this so that I can roll this after. But I do respect that they tried something new. I think trying something new in general is, like, pretty admirable, especially for, like, a well-established series. It not working out doesn't make it like terrible, you know? Like, this game has some good stuff going for it. I just don't think it's very fun to play the boards. But I respect that it tried something new, you know? What I don't respect is when a game doesn't try something new and instead doubles down on bad design decisions. This is the color splash of Mario Party. Is just such a hollow game. It lacks so much that even Mario Party 9 had. It's so soulless and empty. Like, I think there's only 5 boards in this one compared to the 7 in Mario Party 9. Yeah, we got Mushroom Park, which just looks like the other grass board from Mario Party 9. Haunted Trail looks like the other haunted map from Mario Party 9. Whimsical Waters is like the only new theme, I think. Airships, actually that one's new too, and then we got another Bowser map, which just looks so similar. Like, all these maps just look so similar to me. And, you know, the mini games are fine, but I think this game just gets way less of a pass because it's like, you knew that there were problems with Mario Party 9. So why are we doing it again? Why are we doing this again? The Bowser mode is kind of interesting in concept, but I think you could have done that in a game where we aren't all in a car on a straight line to the end. I don't have a lot to say about this game. I barely really play it because I bought this game somewhat recently, like a year or 2 ago. And I've been trying to get people to play it with me so I can, like, form an opinion. But every time I play this game, no one wants to play it after the first, like, 5 turns. This one's such a disappointment to me. It's probably the most disappointing game in the series. I think it technically, you know, it probably has better mini games than Mario Party 1. And they both have terrible boards, but just out of principle, like, Mario Party 1 was the new thing. Mario Party 10 is like trying to fit a square peg into a circle hole. It's like really, really wanting to make this car thing work when it's just fundamentally flawed from the start. I don't think you could make this work. We are still not out of the garbage tier because Super Mario Party is terrible. tired of pretending this game was good because it was a step in the right direction, because it is just miserable to play. This game is bad. So let's talk about it. Mario Party, where are the boards? Where are the boards? Show me the boards. Show me the boards. Here we are. Yep, this is all of them. This map is a square. Boring. This map is a square with a square inside of it. Boring. This map is 4 disconnected squares. Boring. This map is a rectangle with a square above it. Boring. All these maps are terrible. They're tiny. There's not a lot of interesting stuff going on. I'm trying to think of any. I think this map has a somewhat interesting gimmick where the middle, if you land on too many exclamation points spaces in here and you're in the middle, it'll like count down this timer, and if you're in here at 0, it'll like blow you up. It's kind of like the Spaceland laser where no one ever gets hit by it, but it is a gimmick, which, you know, is worth saying. This one you can just like buy stars for different prices or something, or buy multiple stars. I don't really know. It's bad. All these maps are bad. There's nothing interesting going on. They're too small, and they're just ruined by the fact that like the game's mechanics like aren't very interesting to begin with. Basically, if you see this space right here, this is an ally space where if you land on an ally space, you get one of the many playable characters in this game to join you. You get any of these guys, and basically what an ally will do is it will add 1 or 2 to your dice roll every turn, and you can stack allies to the point where if you have, I think you can have up to 5, which means that on any given turn, any number you roll could get 10 added to it, effectively, which is just ridiculous. It means that you have to seek out these spaces because these boards are so small. So if you just roll like a 4 and your allies roll like a 10, you're like halfway across the board in 14 spaces, you know? The dice blocks are 1 to 6 normally, which is weird. I'm not a big fan of 1 to 6. And every character in this game has a unique dice block, which seems kind of interesting at first, but then you just realize that there's like a statistically good one, which is Bowser. Bowser statistically rolls the highest on average. There's some other like niche use ones, like Shy Guy has a dice that's like 5 4s and a 0, so his average roll will like pretty much always be a 4. A lot of these dice blocks just make these characters bad, which just isn't very fun in Mario Party. I don't think you should feel like you're disadvantaged for picking a character you like in Mario Party. That's just how I feel. But yeah, the ally spaces like snowball the game really hard, because the second someone gets like more than one, they're able to move around the board, get to item shops quicker, get to the star quicker, get to Lakitu who steals stars quicker, and it's just not a fun gimmick. It's novel at first to see like a party of people cruising behind you, but just it snowballs so hard, which is just not fun for anyone really. Just this game's really slow again. This is kind of like the Mario Party 1 effect where like movement is slow, there's a lot of cutscenes, the cutscenes are slow. This game moves really slow, like 10 turns in this game takes longer than like 20 turns in like most Mario Parties, I feel. You're also forced to play on one Joy-Con. I don't want to play on one Joy-Con, that's just me. As someone who had a pair of Joy-Cons that was just straight up broken, like they were drifting terribly for a while and then suddenly they just gave out on me. I don't want to have a lot of $80 broken controllers on hand, you know? Like, I'll have one pair of Joy-Cons to play handheld mode Switch. Other than that, I don't want more Joy-Cons. So, like, having to have that many for this game is just not that great. What else? I do like Partner Party in this game. Partner Party puts you on, like, a grid-based system instead of on the generic paths. It feels like these boards were built for this because they're all squares on grids. It doesn't feel like they were built for the other mode. I do like this mode better. I still don't like it. I think there's more strategy involved, but it also just like still takes a long time because every turn you have to like decide like your routing. I also just hate the economy in the, I'm gonna keep rambling. The economy in this game, basically stars are 10 coins now, and you just get coins thrown at you for doing anything. You get coins for getting last place in a minigame. Like, getting third place gives you like 3 coins, which is like a third of a star, which is just kind of ridiculous to me. There's also just a bunch of lucky spaces that give you free coins. There's hidden blocks everywhere that give you free coins. And you don't really need that many coins in this game because everything's cheap. The items are cheap, the stars are cheap. Stealing a star is only like 30 coins. Like, there's a point to be made where this game was a step in the right direction, but I don't think that's necessarily true. You know, it stepped away from Mario Party 10, sure. The right direction is like back here to Mario Party 8 where they were, or Mario Party 7 if you don't like 8. The right direction is the old formula. I think that's pretty clear. So I think stepping away from the car and then just kind of ignoring like fundamental parts of the old formula, like why were stars 20 coins? Why didn't you get money for getting third in a minigame? You know, like there's a lot of choices made here that kind of disregard that formula that just make it so frustrating. I don't think it's worse than 10. I think 10 ignoring every criticism and just making 9 again was pretty bad. I think Super getting enough criticism and being like, oh, people didn't like the car, let's get out of the car, and then just still making something so flawed. When the right answer, as we will see, was just making what they used to make. People like Mario Party Superstars a lot. I think it's a good game. I think it's fine. I think it has its issues. So what was over 10 years since we had a Mario Party game that played like this. This is a return to the original formula with some modern changes. But yeah, they took boards from the old games and remade them. As you'll notice, as I've talked about boards earlier, I don't really like this selection of boards. Peach's Birthday Cake, pretty bad. Spaceland, pretty bad. Yoshi's Tropical Island is funny, but I think it's less funny in this game now that you have items to escape the Thwomp Toll. There's also a lucky space thing that halves the Thwomp Toll, so I think the Thwomp Toll is just less funny in this game overall, so this map's just kind of boring. Horrorland's a good pick, Woody Woods are a good pick. These are the 2 maps that I play like every time I play this game, because these are the maps that like actually feel like maps and not just like, oh, I'm going in a straight line. Ooh, I'm going in circles. Ooh, I'm stuck on this straight away because someone keeps landing on the happening space. In terms of like my problems with this game, I mean, the maps, for one thing, there's only 5, and I don't think most of them are very good. I think it's really weird how we went from basically every Mario Party before Mario Party 10 had at least 6 maps. Some had more. I think Mario Party 1 had 8, and Mario Party 5 had 7. I think the only other Mario Party game that doesn't have 6 maps is Mario Party DS, but that's a handheld game. I don't like how 10, Super, and Superstars all don't have at least 6 maps, especially Superstars, in my opinion, just because they're remaking the maps. Like, they don't have to spend time designing these maps. It still takes a lot of time to build these maps from the ground up in a new engine. I understand that. But I also just think if the old games could consistently pump out 6 to 7 maps, 6 to 7 new maps in like the time span of a year. These games used to come out like pretty much yearly or bi-yearly. I think Mario Party Superstars should be able to crank out at least 6 remake maps. I don't think that's a hot take. I think my other problems with this game are kind of similar to my problems with Super. Is just lucky spaces are just very strong, and there's so many of them on these maps. I just kind of wish there was a setting to turn them off or like turn down the frequency of them. Because just having like say you start here for whatever reason. You start on this green space and you roll a 10, right? Like you have 10, you can roll up to a 10. You have a 40% chance to land on a lucky space. You can land here, 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 or here in 10 spaces. I think it's kind of ridiculous how many there are. They just give you free coins, they shower you in coins. That's a personal thing. Some people might like the lucky spaces. I think it would be hard to argue that there aren't too many of them. I think this game could probably benefit from, like, you know, just take out the ones in between. Take out this one, take out this one. Even then it might be too much, I don't know. You can just get a lot of points for not playing well in this game, which might be good overall, as like this is supposed to be a game where anyone can win. I just think it's skewed a little too much. I think Mario Party is at its best when there's a lot of luck, but there's also a lot of skill and strategy that you can use to get the upper hand. I don't think the player who's the best at minigames should win every game of Mario Party, but I do think a player who has better board knowledge and is better at minigames should probably win most of the time. And I feel like that's not the case with the Switch games, just because you can stumble onto a lot of coins and a lot of extras. That's just me. I think if you like Mario Party being more skewed towards the random, then this game's probably better for you. But yeah, overall, that's my list. I don't think I want to change anything. If anything, I would put 3 above 5, maybe. I might put Mario Party 1 below Super, but I don't know. Super just like 4 terrible maps, and that's it. Is kind of, at least there's 8 terrible maps here to cycle through, you know? I've been talking for an hour and a half straight. My voice kind of hurts. Let me know if you like this kind of unscripted content. I have a lot to say about Mario Party, as you can see, so I have a lot to say about other games. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with. Please don't yell at me. I've gotten enough yelling. Let's keep it civil. Thank you for watching.